Mortal Kombat 11 is right around the corner, universe, and who do we think would make awesome DLC characters? Check it out. What's up, universe, and welcome back to the web's first must-see comic and nerd culture show. Welcome to Comic Universe, guys. I'm your host, as always, C-Dubs, and I'm riding solo on this video. Hey, guys. Mortal Kombat 11 is coming out here sooner than we think. We're going to get some news dropping here today as well on some characters. But it's always fun to speculate and just create wish lists, if you will. And me and the gang have gotten together and basically put together a list of, you know, in this particular case, we may be doing a couple of different lists, you know, just in case to see how they do and just geek out together and see what you guys think, as well as to see what you guys would pick. But this theme is going to be in a horror, you know, specifically just horror. Now, there are going to be some questionables, you know, on this list. Are they really horror? But they do deal with or fit in somewhat of a horror icon, and or they themselves are terrifying, but not necessarily everybody on this list comes from a horror movie. Alright, guys, so we're going to go ahead and jump right on into the list. This is going to be our top 30 horror movie icons that could fit in the Mortal Kombat franchise as DLC characters. Kicking it off with number 30, Alice from the Resident Evil movie franchise, if you will. Now, to be completely transparent with you, universe, I am not a fan of this franchise. I am not really even a fan of the character, but I do recognize her as being a complete and total badass. Not to mention, she could hang with everybody from Outworld and from Netherrealms. She is definitely a beast to be reckoned with. She's, you know, a skilled martial artist. She knows how to use various forms of weaponry, from long range to short range. She's not afraid to kick a damn zombie dog in the face, as we all know. Like, she would not be intimidated in the least. She's been shown to have some sort of telekinesis and or mental ability as well. She would definitely be a warrior in this tournament that you could rely on. Not to mention, she would bring an element of estrogen into the combat zone. There are not that many actual female contestants in the Mortal Kombat franchise. There are a few, obviously. You got your classics, your Katanas, Melinas, Jades, Sonyas, and now we have two newer ones as well with the daughters of Jax and Sonya and Johnny Cage, if you will. But to be honest with you guys, what's a little more? Not to mention she could spice up with a little bit of sex appeal, because Mila could actually do the voice as well, and it just would be absolutely awesome. Number 29, the Headless Horseman. This mammoth of a man without a head would be an absolute wrecking ball in the world of Mortal Kombat. Now, the one I have in mind is the one from the Sleepy Hollow TV show, where he was actually a member of the Four Horsemen. He was one of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, if you will. He was just a towering beast. He was prolific in many, many different forms of armed combat, from axes to swords to gun wielding. The dude walked around without a head and a shotgun or a rifle and a ancient axe. The dude was just a complete beast. He was strong, and it would just be a sight to be seen, him riding in on a steed, jumping off, and just standing there towering. It would just be absolutely wicked. Now, admittedly, there would be somewhat of a problem with this character, with other Mortal Kombat contestants trying to perform a fatality on him, where either A, they rip off their head or rip out his skull or something to that nature. Without a head, there are some issues, but I'm sure they could figure something to work around. Not to mention just the clothing that you could choose from different eras of military combat and whatnot would just be absolutely cool to see on the Headless Horseman. Alright, universe, now stick with me on this one and hear me out. At number 28, the Wicked Witch of the West. That's right. She is a horror icon, believe it or not, even if it isn't in the realm of horror, this movie. For the time being of when her creation was, or her creation to film was, she was absolutely terrifying. She has given us the stereotypical iconic look of what the witch should be. Green skin, black pointed hat, black dress, flying around on a broom. And speaking of flying around on a broom, just think about the move sets that the Wicked Witch could have. Being magic based, there's really no limit to what she technically could do, okay? And we could even have a little bit of a twist where she's normally the one that melts, okay? She could actually cause others to melt as a fatality, which would be really, really cool. Not to mention, her henchmen, the flying monkeys, could fly down, grab you, hold you while she performs moves, or hit you with her broom, if you will. She could throw fireballs, set you on fire with the tip of her broom. Honestly, guys, your imagination could go wild with this. And truly, she does deserve to be honored in this particular way by this game. And truly, she is definitely, I would say, in the top 10 greatest movie villains of all time. So why not give her time to shine? And just the gear system alone, you could have many different versions of her outfit from all her different incarnations, from the book to her movies. And maybe even you could even spark a little bit of fun and kind of reach out into like the Wicked, if you will, which is always kind of fun. So definitely, she would be a great addition to the cast. Adding additional estrogen, again, as another female character in a universe where there isn't as many female fighters as there are male fighters. So this would definitely be cool. Not to mention, we have yet to get a special guest DLC as a female. So this would be really cool as well. Alright, universe, at number 27.
It's evolved to mimic its predator. Us.
That's right, universe. At number 27 from the film franchise Mimic, the Judas breed itself, these grotesque insects are highly evolved. They have a serious case of the munchies, if you will. They have learned and have adapted and evolved to be able to mimic their greatest prey, and that is us, the human. That's right, they have been able to structure their bodies and their wings, if you will, and their exoskeleton to actually mimic that of a human being. These creatures are smart, highly adaptive. They have a very intense and highly elevated structure system within their hive, almost ant-like or bee-like, if you will. They have long, elongated pincers that could actually pierce through metal. We've seen them actually pierce the actual subway cars, if you will. So these creatures are super strong, super fast. They swarm. They have a highly adaptive sense of smell, so the more blood in Mortal Kombat, the worse it would be for any one person. Now, I know what you're saying right off the bat. Well, how the hell can these insects be an actual fighter? And to that I say, who would have thought the Xenomorph would have made a good actual fighter, if you will? They found a workaround around this, and simply by their ability to highly evolve, if you will, I could totally see these creatures evolving into being able to fight in Mortal Kombat. At the very least, they could be controlled by D'Vorah. At number 26, the little cute creature that evolved into your worst nightmare. We're talking Dren from the movie Splice. Now, at first glance, you say, well, what is this feminine creature going to do? And then you realize as she's grown, she has evolved, okay, and she has a scorpion-like tail, kangaroo-esque type legs, giving her extreme jumping ability. She's able to fly, and she's shown to sprout the wings to do so. This chick could be very sensual and lure you in into such a grotesque manner and take you out quickly with that tail. Now, again, this is one that you don't necessarily see right off the bat, but just because of all the different animals and creatures she has been, spliced with, the move set alone would be very, very interesting. She could have, somewhat of a jump attack, Goro and Shiva, if you will. She could have definite piercing abilities with her tail. She could grab you, fly you into the sky, and drop you as a slam. This chick could do some real damage if she had to. At number 25, we have the sexual deviant herself, Syl from the movie Species. This alien creature is just a towering menace. She would probably, in her full form, be pretty close, I would say, to at least Shiva in height and definitely in strength. With all of her tentacles and horns, her just brutality that she could rain upon the Mortal Kombat characters would be absolutely insane. Not to mention just the way that she would impose her will in her human form, you know, as she walks into the screen with the little cutscene, if you will, would be kind of interesting, like trying to tantalize the likes of Johnny Cage, if you will, or just playing off of how she has been with Johnny Cage and pissing off Sonya. It would absolutely be real funny. Again, I understand that this is not ever going to happen, but it would be really cool to see the species alien just appear in Mortal Kombat. And now we're getting into a serious threat here, guys. At number 24, I say we bring in The Thing. That's right, the evil alien parasite itself. Okay, John Carpenter's The Thing, a classic horror movie, if you will, science fiction horror movie at that. You know, this creature would just absolutely wreak havoc in the Netherrealm. Storyline could be the alien parasite finds its way there, okay, and is just spreading like wildfire. Okay, and the end, you know, the end credits when you beat it, just basically the alien has essentially not only conquered Netherrealm, has also conquered, you know, Earthrealm as well. It conquered all the realms just by sheer spreading its disease, if you will. The absolute amazing gore that would come from this creature's fatalities would be absolutely insane, just from the sheer tentacles and spikes and horns and teeth that it could create, multiple mouths, you know, it can elongate and grow. It would just be absolutely disgusting what would actually happen. One of simple fatality would be, you know, the parasite finds its way into you and you literally just explode, okay, with tentacles and teeth and bones and piercing through your body as you turn into the creature itself. Absolutely cool. Not to mention, to see it happen to Jax would be pretty funny, considering it can't duplicate non-organic material, so his arms would just fall off. That would be so funny, and it would be terrifying, to be honest with you.
I came today because last night I had a dream about this place. I was in this house, but it was late at night. I went into Dalton's room. I asked it, "Who are you?" And it said it was a visitor. I can still hear that voice.
At number 23, the Insidious universe horror monsters, if you will. Everything from the red-faced demon to the lady in the black dress to the guy with the mask on his face to the last key to Annabelle, all the way to the Twisted Man. It would be absolutely awesome. My suggestion is that these characters could morph, kind of bouncing in and out, if you will. Not necessarily like tagging in or out, just basically morphing and being able to use different abilities from each one. It would be a really cool way to kind of get the hype behind the Insidious franchise again and the Insidious universe. Not that it needs it. It definitely is already kind of sold itself, but it would be really cool to kind of see that kind of play. It would be something very different for Mortal Kombat to do. Okay, plus there, you know, out of all the monsters I've, you know, mentioned here, now all of these are long shots and probably will never happen, and this is just simply just for fan service, to chit chat with you guys in the universe to see who you would pick. Now, to be honest with you, this one does have some chance of possibly happening because there is a connection between James Wan, Warner Brothers, and NetherRealm. You know, James Wan was at one point scheduled to direct a Mortal Kombat film. Warner Brothers does own NetherRealm, you know, studios, as well as James Wan just did $1 billion with Aquaman. So this is something that could somehow, some way happen. At number 22, we have a heroine who knows how to fight the forces of evil, if you will. And this one, hear me out, has a really, really good shot at actually happening. A few years ago when we were trying to figure out who was going to be the DLC characters and guest characters for Injustice 2, One of the suggestions was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, she's also been brought up for Mortal Kombat before in the past. Okay, and just for the sheer fact that she was actually suggested, as we all know, we ended up getting Hellboy, which was absolutely awesome. Okay, but just the fact that she was suggested means that there was some interest and a possibility that this could happen. Not to mention that Joss Whedon and Warner Brothers are cool with him coming in and stepping in and trying to help fix the Justice League movie. And I know some people say he helped break it, but either way, there is a connection there. They have mentioned Buffy before, so this definitely is something that could happen. And last but not least for this part of the countdown, we have at number 21, the Winchesters. That's right, from Supernatural, Dean and Sam Winchester. Now these boys, these brothers, are no stranger to danger. They have taken on everything from essentially the beast, the darkness that came before Satan, Satan himself, all of the horsemen. You know, these guys have taken it head on time and time again. Death has not even been able to stop them. They have faced the King of Hell. They have faced the Hounds of Hell, ghosts, zombies, werewolves, vampires, you name it. They have faced it and have slain it. These two guys, martial arts experts, brilliant, if you will. Even Dean, you know, he seems like he's a knucklehead from time to time. But trust me, when it comes to the straight up street smarts, this guy is top notch. Sam brings home the books. Okay, you could even throw Cass in there as well, or Bobby. Okay, if you're a fan of the franchise, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But mainly, I'm just talking about Sam and Dean. I think they could be interchangeable skins, if you will. You don't need two separate characters. Yeah, there's a height difference, but whatever. Okay, they could be armed with the Colt, if you will. If you're not familiar with the Colt is a gun that is able to kill any supernatural creature. They could have the knife. You know, they would be close combat, if you will. These guys know what they're doing, and it would be believable that they're in the mix of things. Not to mention, there is a connection between Warner Brothers and CW. You know, Warner Brothers does own CW, so there is a possibility that something like that could actually happen. I know it's a long shot, but fingers crossed, that would absolutely make my day. And to be honest with you, the Winchesters would be a breath of fresh air to this franchise, especially when dealing with horror characters, because as we all know, when it comes to horror and monsters and things that go bump in the night, there are not very many iconic heroes. You have your Ash, you have your Buffy the Vampire Slayer, sure, you even have your Hellboys. Okay, but there are very few and far between that you could call iconic, and the Winchesters definitely fall in that category. Alright, universe, that was our first 10 of our top 30 of horror icons that could make it as DLC for Mortal Kombat 11. Again, this is just for fun. There's nothing solidifying anything we're saying here, guys. This is just us saying who would fit, who would be cool, and reasons why. And feel free in the comments below to let us know who you would be adding in, who your top 10 or 30 or 5 or your number 1 is, guys. I know most people's, guys, our number 1 is Spawn. Okay, so just kind of think outside the box. Let us know who you think would be kind of interesting as a Mortal Kombat character, because who would have ever thought a Xenomorph would have been a cool Mortal Kombat character? Not me. I'm pretty sure no one thought that that would be as cool of a character as it turned out to be. Sure, they kind of got one over on us by making him somewhat of, you know, kind of like Baraka, but still, it was absolutely gnarly to see the Xenomorph in Mortal Kombat, if you will. So, seriously, guys, think outside the box. Let us know in the comments below. Now, to catch our next 10, if you will, in our top 30, we're going to be posting that video over on our Facebook page. So, guys, definitely check that out. That's the only way to know the next set, if you will. We got to show those guys some love as well. So now it's on you guys. Let us know in the comments below what you guys are thinking for who you want to be in the Mortal Kombat franchise. And as well, guys, go ahead and give this video a huge thumbs up. Hulk smash the hell out of it for us, guys. If you don't like this video, let me know what I could have done to be better. And then, honestly, guys, if you haven't subscribed already, we do all kinds of nerd topic videos, so feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Click that notification bell to be part of the universe, and until next time, I'm C-Dubs, and I'll see you in the universe. Peace.